Hello everyone. In this video, I will explain you about the chromatography or activity 2.7. Okay, let's start. Is the dye in black ink a single color? So there are two terms. First ink and second one is dye. First we should know about what is ink and what is dye. Okay, uh, first I just explain you about the ink. What is ink? Ink is a liquid or paste that contains dye or pigment. And what is dye? Dye is a substance that is used to change color, okay, of whatever it's applied to. Dye is used on fabric, dye is used on hair, it is used on clothing and food to change the color. Now the question is the dye in a black ink a single color? The answer is no. Dye is not a single color, it is a mixture of two or more than two colors. Okay, now the question is how we separate the colors from dye. This is the activity. How we separate the colors from the dye. Okay, step by step we just try to understand the activity. Okay, first take a thin filter paper. First you take a filter paper strip and draw a line on it using a pencil approximately 3 centimeter above the lower edge. By using scale you can draw, or you use scale for measurement, and by using pencil you can draw a line around 3 centimeter from the lower edge. Just you draw the line. Okay, picture is also given in this activity. Now put a small drop of ink. Suppose you have the black ink, then put a small drop of ink. You just put a small drop of ink. Okay, water soluble, that is from a sketch pen or fountain pen, at the center of the line. Okay, you put the drop of ink here. One thing you just should understand: put a small drop of ink, but what kind of ink? Water soluble. Suppose there is a picture. Okay, don't worry. Here, this is completed. Take a filter paper and above 3 centimeter you just draw a line and put a drop of ink here at the center, but the ink should be water soluble. Why? Okay, if you use the black marker or the black permanent marker, if you use black permanent marker, or the ink in the black marker is not soluble in water, therefore it does not separate. It means you should not use the ink of permanent black marker, because it is not water soluble. Means you use the ink that is water soluble. Okay, this thing you just know. Okay, now lower the filter paper into a glass beaker test tube containing water so that the drop of ink on the paper is just above water level. Why? Because if it is not above the water level, it means the ink get dissolved in water quickly and you cannot get the colors. So the level should be above the water. Okay, in this picture, you take this filter paper and there is water. You can see this is water, and the spot of ink, just above the water level so that it cannot quickly dissolve in the water. Okay, now watch carefully as the water rises up on the filter paper because filter paper has minute pores that allows the water to goes up. Okay, I again repeat this activity. First, you take a filter paper strip and then draw a line above 3 centimeter and then put a drop of black ink at the center and then take this filter paper and dip the filter paper in the test tube containing water. But the spot of ink should be above the water. Okay, now what do you observe on the filter paper as the water wait what do you observe on the filter paper as the water rises on it? Okay, as the water rises on it, it means it takes along the dye particles. Means water rises up, but with the water, along with the water, there are some dye particles. Okay, and here the answer of the first part. This answer is there. As the dye is soluble in it, as the water rises on the filter paper, it takes along with it the dye particle. This is the answer of first part. Okay. Do you obtain different colors on the water strip? The answer is yes. We obtain different colors on the filter paper strip. But now the question is why? Why we obtain different colors on the filter paper strip? The answer is because different colors solubility is different. The solubility of different color is different. The color which is more soluble in water, it goes at the top. Okay, what according to you can be the reason for the rise of the colored spot on the paper strip? The answer is because the colored spot is soluble in water, and thus due to the solubility the spot rises up. Okay, this is the answers of three parts. Again I repeat, what do you observe on the filter paper as the water rises on it? Dye particles. Do you obtain different colors on the filter paper strip? The answer is yes. What according to you can be the reason for the rise of the color spot? Because they are soluble. Okay. Now the ink that we use has water as the solvent and the dye is soluble. As the water rises on the filter paper, it takes along with it the dye particles. Usually, a dye is a mixture of two or more color. For example, in black ink, there is blue, red, and yellow color. The colored component that is more soluble in water, this is a very important line, the colored component that is more soluble in water rises faster, and in this way the color get separated. Means the colored component that is more soluble, it rises faster. Okay, so the colors get separated because of their solubility. Okay, now the process of separation of components of a mixture is known as chromatography. This is the definition. The process of separation of components of a mixture, or it is the technique used for separation of those solids that dissolve in the same solvent. This is also chromatography. Chromatography means chrome means color, or graphy means writing. Means we have to separate the colors. This technique was first used for separation of colors, as we discussed in this activity. So this name was given chromatography, and it is also used for the separation of solutes that dissolve in the same solvent. For example, for this point, wait, it is used for separation of those solvents that dissolve in the same solvent. The example is pigments from natural colors or drugs from blood. We will discuss. With the advancement in technologies, newer techniques of chromatography have been developed, but you will study about this in higher classes. So, in only we discuss about the paper chromatography. This is the activity of paper chromatography. To separate the colors in a dye, in this activity we discuss this. Now, the second point or the application is pigments. We use chromatography to separate the pigments from natural colors. Now the question is how we get the pigments from natural colors. I will explain. For example, you have flowers. Okay, you have flowers. Suppose these are the flowers. Okay, and you take these flowers in a beaker. First, second, third, you take these flowers in beaker and then heat it. Then heat the beakers. After some time you will observe that after 40 minutes around, you will observe that the flowers, they just heated and converted into the some flower in the liquid forms. You will get the liquid, and this is the color, means this is dye. Or in simple words, just say first take leaves and you just you heat in the water. After some times you will observe that there are some changes in the color, and watercolor changes, means you will get some colors. And then repeat the same activity. Take a strip of filter paper and then 3 centimeter line just draw above the blue edges, and then whatever dye you get, just you put a dye at the center and then repeat this activity, then you will get separated the colors. Same, drugs from blood. In blood there are some drugs. Okay, blood is a solvent and drugs are solid. So you just separate the solute from the solvent. This is what we call chromatography. Okay, the same process. First we take strip of filter paper. The same process you repeat. Okay, this is about the chromatography. In this, just remember the activity and definition of chromatography and applications of chromatography. Okay, I just again repeat this activity. Is the dye in black ink a single color? The answer is no. First, how to separate the colors from the dye? Just take a strip of filter paper and draw a line about 3 centimeter and put dye at the center, and then take a glass tube containing water and then place the filter paper in the tube. It just above the water level so that it is not mixed. Slowly the water goes up and it takes the colors, means you will get the different colors, like this is the color and these colors are separated. Why these colors are separated? Because of the solubility. Okay, this is what we call chromatography, and here is the definition of chromatography. You just remember this definition. It is a technique used for separation of those solutes that dissolve in the same solvent. And what are the applications? It's important. Colors in a dye, pigments from natural color to separate pigments from natural color to separate drugs from blood. So how you obtain the pigments or the dye from natural colors? For example, natural colors like flowers. Just heat the flowers, and after some time the flowers get degraded and you will get the dye, and then you separate the colors. Okay, this is about the chromatography. Okay, in the next video we will discuss about the activity 2.8. Okay, thank you.